And it's a clash of generations. Baby boomers bash millennials for being lazy, entitled, having it better than they had it. But millennials are getting their act together. They're boosting their retirement savings after learning from their parents' bad behavior. Here to read the minds of our nation's millennials, clinical psychologist Dr. Catherine Smerling. Doctor, welcome back to the show. It's always good to see you. So what do you make of this? What is the motivation for these super savers?
I think that every generation is a reaction to the generation that came before them. It's a rite of passage. For instance, if you look back at this century, you will see the Great Generation, which ends in 1945, was the product of the Depression and the product of the World War. And then we had the baby boomers, who were in direct rebellion against their parents and those who had come before. And they wanted to express themselves. They were risk takers. They were out there. And after the baby boomers came the latchkey generation, which is Generation X. Those are the entrepreneurs, and those are the people that are very, very independent. Now we have the Generation Y and the millennials, who have learned from the past mistakes of their parents, who are baby boomers and Generation X.
Didn't they see the boomers spending like drunken sailors, and I know people like this who watch their parents have crazy lifestyles, profligate spending. And they looked at that and they said, you know what, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be completely different. I'm going to save, and I'm going to live at home until I get enough money together to be on my own.
The millennials are a very thoughtful generation. They're very conscious of what has gone on before, and they also are aware of 9/11, of all of the 2 recessions, and especially now they're finding it hard to get a job. So they are really savers, and they're very cautious. They also have wonderful relationships, for the most part, with their parents. So they are listening from their parents thoughtfully. It is not the same
generation.
It is. It's not as much of a rebellion. Yes,
Listen, I want you to see some numbers. I'm going to show our audience some numbers on this. So millennials started saving for retirement at 22. Boomers started saving at 35. And let me tell you, for somebody who's studied retirement for decades now, there is such a big difference in how much money you ultimately have to sock away. If you start that early, you have such a big advantage.
I'm a boomer, and my son is a millennial, and for his 21st birthday, I am giving him a Roth IRA so that he will begin to save, and it's something we have discussed. And that is just a perfect kind of beginning for him to look ahead to the future.
I love that story. That's awesome. Another study that's out there about millennials says they're very stressed out. Now, you mentioned that they've seen the recessions. They saw 9/11 up close. Is that why they're under pressure, like a pressure cooker?
I think they're very aware of what is going on around them. Remember, this is the information age. They were brought up on computers. So they have access to all this information. They're surrounded by it. So they've incorporated that, and they've been thoughtful about it. They aren't growing up in isolation. They're very much a part of the world, and they see what's happening.
Well, it's fascinating. I love talking generations because I always think it's so interesting. It depends what generation you are, what your point of view is. Dr. Smerling, thanks for coming on. Great conversation.
Thank you.